afternoon and welcome to our Facebook Live this afternoon. My name's Jenny McCormack. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the UK. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm going to show you some more ideas for gift wrapping today using these celebration labels dies. This was something we created yesterday, so here was my sample. Let me show you the finished project from yesterday. Hi Bridie, thanks for joining us. So this is our finished project from yesterday, and that's using the largest shape of this die to create the box lid, so it has a really pretty shape to it all the way around. So this is the largest die scored at 1 inch all the way around to create the box lid, and I've just decorated it with a few die cuts, a bit of gold twine, the vanilla ribbon and a sentiment stamped on the smallest of these dies. So what I wanted to show you today is a slightly different variation on gift packaging. So this is the basic shape, and as you can see you get assorted sizes of these dies. Okay, going down, and then there's another 2 with this one being the smallest. So what I want to show you is here. If I had something in a cellophane bag, for example here I've got our Noble Peacock rhinestones, you could just gift it like that with a little bit of a bow on, but to make this look more interesting, what I'm actually going to do is cut out a piece of the designer paper here with the largest die. And these dies have a useful little notch, which is the halfway point, which makes it really easy to score and fold that in half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out 3 layers with consecutive sized dies and create a pretty little topper for the top of this packet. Okay, now obviously this could be any size, and if you had a smaller one you'd start with a smaller layer from there on down, but I think this one, as you will see in a minute, will fit perfectly across the top. So I am going to bring in the die cutting machine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this as 1 layer, and then I'm going to have some vellum as the next layer, and then the top layer is going to be a piece of colour card which we can then stamp a sentiment or a design onto. Hi Jen. Oh, jolly good. Perfect. So as I say, this was the one we did yesterday, and that's a really easy box to create. So if you haven't seen that one, hop back either on my YouTube or my Facebook channel and you can see how that was created. Just going to bring this in on the side here. So this is our new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm just going to put the base plate down there. And I'm not sure how much of this you can see. Let me just bring this over. Not a great deal. Perhaps if I do it sideways that would be better for you. Okay, so there's my designer paper on my plate, and I'm going to take the largest one, which just fits that. So I suspect that is 6 inches in width, because normally if I have spare pieces of card they're cut to 6 inches of designer paper, 6 inches by 12. So let's cut this one out first, like so. I'm trying to do this sideways. So I'm hoping you can see that go through. So it only needs one layer to go through. And that's cut out our first piece of designer paper. And it has stitching around the edge, but with the design, you probably can't see that in detail. Next, I'm going to find a sheet of vellum and add that as a layer on top with the next size down, which will be this one here. Okay. So I hope everybody is well and ready for the weekend. Can't believe we're Friday 5 o'clock already. The weeks are just hurtling by far too fast. Right. Oh, somebody's watching me, weren't they? So this one is going to cut out that layer there. I could also emboss that if I wanted to. But let's just pop that down on there. As I say, sorry it's not very inspiring view from your point of view, but hopefully you can see what's being done. You'll be able to see the stitching better on the vellum if you haven't seen this die before. There we go. Now it does clunk a bit because I've got it fairly straight on. There we go. So here is the vellum. Let me pop it onto this piece here, and then you might be able to see that stitching around the edge. Obviously these are very much designed to be, you can use them as panels for cards. Okay. And then the last one I'm going to do, I think I'm going to pick out one of these colours from here, because this is going to sit on top, and then another layer. So we've got a bit of So Saffron, a bit of Bumblebee, a bit of Blushing Bride. So let me see which one comes first. So I hope you're well, Bridie. Hi, Carol with an E. A piece of So Saffron that's going to go on top of those two. So we're taking the third one down, and again somebody's definitely overseeing me today because each of those has been exactly the right size. We go. Now you could do this with you know, a large oval die, for example, but it is really nice with the detailed dies. Like so. So now I've got, let me get that top out of the way, my 3 layers getting smaller and smaller. So I'm going to do them like this, and then they're going to fold in the center, so I can stamp something onto here. I might actually pop this layer through an embossing folder to give it a little bit of interest. So let me just see which one is to hand. Hello, Molly. That's okay, you haven't missed very much. I was slightly behind the hour as usual. Let me find an embossing folder. Difficult to know which one. I've got this one here, which is hammered metal. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one through so it's got a hammered effect to it. So I'm just going to take out the extra plate and pop that through just to give it some interest. Obviously you could use any embossing folder for that, or you could just leave it plain, or you could add a different coloured layer of card. So that's got the embossing mat on the top, and you can see the detail there. Okay, finished with this. Let's take this out of the way. So what we're creating, Molly and Carol, is some gift packaging for these Noble Peacock rhinestones. So I put them into a cellophane bag, but I want to make it a little bit more interesting. So rather than just put some staples in there, what I'm going to do is fold this over the top and create a pretty piece for the top. So what I'm going to do with these 3 pieces is just score them along the centre line so that they will fold nicely. So because we've got these little, let me put this one behind here. So what I'm going to do is score from this little dip to this little dip. You could just literally fold it in half, to be honest. Okay, but I'm just going to score it, placing it on my trimmer, but you could do this on a scoreboard, and positioning the little centre of the dip at the top and at the bottom of that channel, like so. And then make sure you don't use the cutting blade, you just use the scoring blade, and that will fold that beautifully in half. You can do the same with our other 2 layers. So this is the vellum, which I have just embossed to give it a little bit of interest, like so. Okay, so there's that layer, and then I've got this one here, like so. So it's really easy to line up in the middle there. But as I said, you could actually just fold those by hand because they're not difficult to line up. So what I'm going to do is stamp something on the front, because the way that these layers are going to go is going to have 1, 2, and then 3. So that makes a really pretty set of layers. And then these are going to go over the top, however far down you want to make that. So what I'm going to do is print something on this side. So this could be a gift for any occasion. So let us see. It could be a birthday gift. So I could add birthday wishes and some flowers in. I could obviously use the flowers that match that stamp set. Let's add birthday wishes. And I'm going to stamp this in my favourite early espresso. Okay, and then I'm going to put flowers around that. Oh, bless you, Carol. Good girl. I'm glad I can provide some visual entertainment while you're on the phone. It's suddenly gone really dark here. Looks like it's going to pour with rain. I hope it doesn't, because I have some more important deliveries to do. Okay, so let's pop this here. Birthday wishes. Like that. And I've just picked out So Saffron because of these flowers here. So I wanted to match that colour. You can see that. Okay. And I could use this flower here. These are from the Ornate Garden set. So let me just see. So these ones actually match. So actually what I'm going to do is stamp this one here because that matches those tiny little daisy type, not daisy flowers. Don't really know what they are, but they're just so pretty. So what I think I'm going to do is stamp them here and here. Sorry that hasn't got a label on it though. Just going to grab a piece of grid paper. So I hope people have got something nice to do at the weekend, whether that's crafting or seeing people or going out for lunch or something, assuming you're not already shut down, of course. Okay, so these are the flowers. They're very pretty. Done some pretty cards with these already. Okay, so there's one. Do this here. Like so. Could do a little bit in the middle actually. Let's be daring. So if I can just do that little bit in there. There we go. Pretty. Okay, so these are going to layer all together. Okay, now you can use this even for things like a bottle bag or something, where you have a bottle of wine or something in there, and then rather than having the handles, you could close it up and pop this on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two layers together first, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the inside of that fold because it's going to be hidden by the next layer. So you can't really see that, can you? There we go. Oh right, looked like we stopped and now we've started again. Fingers crossed. Okay, if I had some So Saffron ribbon, that would look quite nice in the middle. I might have got some to hand. Let me have a look and see what I've got here. I've got some Old Olive and Peacock. Let me see if I've got So Saffron, because I think that would be really nice. Or I have Bumblebee, which I'm going to use. Now my system says I've disconnected and reconnected. Would you be kind enough to comment if we're still all together, all of us? Okay, so what I can do is add this here. So I'm just going to hook that. Oops, I had to pull it too tight because I pulled that end off. Like so. You could wrap this just around the inside layer if you wanted to, that we just stamped. There we go, that's the top. So it's just a different way of packaging things. As I said, perfect when you've got slim items. So even a book, if you had a paperback book, you could pop that into a cellophane bag and then have this added at the top. Makes it much more interesting. Oh, you can still see me. Excellent, thank you. Receiving, I love it. I love it. Okay, so now I've got this here. So you can either choose to have all of the cellophane sort of up in the top, so you could see the top there, or you could wrap it down and have it, or you could have it completely down like that. So it really depends on what it is and what you want to show. Okay, so I think it's a really nice design for some gift wrapping. The samples of this are in the catalogue, and they've used it for cookies. I think it is. So this is the labels dies themselves, and this does have a matching stamp set, and the idea of this is that these would be stamped across that panel. So here's a Christmas one with the plaid behind, a layer of vellum which has been stamped, and then Merry Christmas across the top. This one here has been folded the way that I've done it, that way, and it's just got 2 layers and a little bit of ribbon coming out from here. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. So these items will fold either way, so you can either score and fold in that direction, or you can score and fold in that direction. Okay, so if I wanted a bigger fold, you could score it in that landscape mode. So let's just put this little bit together. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to put that. I think I'm going to have it like that so you can see the whole thing underneath it. So what I'm going to do is just pop a bit of seal on there, just sort of wrap it in on itself like so. Okay, and then this bit can go onto here. Now you could either staple it, or you could stick it, or you could use some glue dots on either side. So it really is up to you. I think I'm just going to add some glue on either side. You could also use dimensionals to do that. As I say, on the reverse of that, you can have your to, from and a message. So all I'm going to do is position this part the way up and fold that down like so. And I like the way that these layers separate. You could stick them right down, or you could on the reverse stick these together so that they were flat, but I like the way that this folds over. Just think it's really pretty and delicate. So there we are, a different version of some packaging. As I said, you could do this in any size. So if you had the small one, which is this one here, you could fold that over and just literally add it to a tube of, don't know if they still have tubes of Smarties, the small ones, but if you had a pen or something in a slim cellophane bag, then you could have that folded over the top with birthday wishes or Christmas wishes. You could stamp a small stamp from, I was going to say Little Treats. My one's not here at the minute because it's in a box ready for our Let's Get Creative event. But that would work particularly well because it's got nice little small sentiments and then a to from on the reverse. So there we go. I hope you like that slightly different version. As I say, I like it loose, but you could have it literally stuck layer to layer if you wanted. So this was the one that we made yesterday with the little box. This was my sample, it's got sweets in it. And this is one of the labels from the Celebration Labels dies. So you can do a lot more with them, obviously, than just using them for die cutting for the fronts of cards. But hopefully that has given you some ideas. So there are 5 dies in total in consecutive sizes. So let me see if there's any questions from anybody. Thank you, Molly. Thanks, Jen. Oh, brilliant. Glad it's given you some ideas. Yeah, Facebook has been really playing up this week. I had to have 3 attempts the other day. But we've made it in one and we've reconnected, so that's a bit of a miracle in its own right. So the papers and the stamps were from Ornate Style. So what I would do to finish this one off is I'd probably add a little bit of bling. Let's see what I have to hand. I've got some of the bumblebee, that would look quite sweet. And I've also got the cinnamon cider, or I've actually got some of these from the same series, so I might use some of those green ones and just pop those in. So let's do that to finish off. Let's put a little bit of light from outside. Let's go for the little green ones, I think. So I'm just going to pop 3 on there. 1, 2 and 3. There we go. So there's my finished little project. I hope you like it. Hope it's given you some ideas and inspiration. Something a little different. So thank you for joining me. I will be back on Monday. So my new times are Monday and Wednesday at 10 AM. That's unchanged. And now we've got Tuesday, Thursday and Friday all at 5 PM. So live at 5, I'm going to call those. So I do hope you're able to join me next week. I have got my Class in a Box event on Sunday of this week. So if you've ordered my monthly Class in a Box, I hope you're able to join me for some live crafting. All of the other videos will be uploaded, so you can craft from those in the meantime. And then next weekend we have our Let's Get Creative all-day crafting event online. So hopefully I will catch some of you at one of those events at least. In the meantime, if you've got any queries or questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I'd be more than happy to help you in any way that I can. I hope you have a nice weekend. Stay safe and look after yourselves. Look after each other and take care, and I hope you can keep crafting. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate